Well, I have a new project. I bought this 2015, I think, Polarcraft. It's a 16 footer. Got it all registered. It came with this 15 horsepower 4-stroke Mercury. And I'm gonna outfit it to be my fishing boat. So it was just the metal, basically. So anything in here I have just set in here. There's a bunch of tools and junk in here, but I bought 3 Cabela's seats, folding seats. They were about 80 bucks each. I bought a bunch of, a mix of Scotty mounts and I think I have one Bass Pro Shop mount. I'm going to be mounting these in various configurations here, mainly by just drilling holes. And then I bought a whole bunch of stainless steel screws, nuts, and bolts to bolt them in. So this has these slot panels which will allow me to reach back behind there. I'm going to avoid drilling into this for now, the outside wall. So I'm just going to mount everything in the interior metal. And we'll see how that goes. So I did buy these for the seats. I bought these. Almost spilled that. Mounting brackets, and they're quick clips, so I can pull them out if I want to. And I figure if the plastic doesn't hold up, then I'll just swap these out for metal. But these should do well. 360 degree. That'll allow us to spin around face forward. I can spin around and work the throttle. I'm gonna build, I think I'm gonna build a wood box here so I can throw stuff in it and then have my fish finder mounted on it. I think I'm gonna try and put that on a swivel so that me and whoever's sitting there can look at the fish finder. So that's where we're going. I haven't decided what to do for a trolling motor. I might just buy a cheap electric one and mount it on the back there just for this season, and then upgrade to a fancier, like $1,500 bow mount with a remote control that'll wire into my I think I'm gonna get a Humminbird Helix, probably a 7 or an 8, and have that there. But for this season, this summer, it's May now, and I think I'm gonna try and keep things fairly simple until I kind of get a feel for what I like and don't like. I will also be building, the guy who sold it to me had just thrown in these cheap little deckings in here, but I think I'm gonna build it out a little bit better. I may order a bunch of aluminum and try and put that in there, but I think what I might end up doing is just doing a simple lift out built out of wood for now. And then that way I can come back in and redo it if I don't like it or if I feel like it's too heavy. All right, so that'll get me going on this boat project. I'm excited about it, so we'll see how it goes. I'll show you a few steps along the way and then the finished product. So these come in 2 pieces, and this mounts onto here, and the seats came with the screws. So I'll just affix that, and then I will put this into place. And I'll show you what I'm gonna do for that here in just a second. I'm gonna throw a little bit of this thread locker in here. I've always been able to get it out, but I just don't want the vibrations and jostling to cause it to loosen. So we'll see if that works. I might also throw a stainless steel lock washer. I think I bought a whole bunch of them in there as well. All right, that's on. That was pretty simple. Now for this guy. So what I did here is a lot of guys will just use a sheet metal screw and screw in there, but then, like someone pointed out, this is just filled with foam, and you basically only have one thread holding onto the bottom side of this metal. I mean, it's not like it's in wood or a solid piece of metal. So this guy, on another video I watched, bought this from Harbor Freight for 50 bucks. And then I ordered online, because Harbor Freight didn't have them, a whole set of stainless steel rivet nuts. And I'm gonna use these 1/4 inch. And what it does is it takes that piece in there and we'll drill the holes, and then we'll use that tool to set the nut, and it creates a rivet. And so it's pinched on both sides of the metal because the top has the lip going down. And then it's threaded in the middle for a 1/4 inch bolt. And so I can put my 1/4 inch bolts down in there, and they're holding on to the body of that rivet down in there, and it's riveted, pinching on both sides of the metal. So I think it just gives you a little more lasting and stronger hold there in this thin aluminum. This tool, the instructions are pretty simple. It comes with a variety of heads based on what you want. So I picked the 1/4 inch 20, and I just took out what was already in there. I'm guessing that's one of these, and then put it in there. And then all you do is screw this on there. And these need to be open. Oops. Try and do this and hold my camera at the same time. So open those and then screw that all the way down. That kind of holds those most of the way open. And then all you do is insert it into the hole. And then I'm gonna have to use 2. So you just, after that's screwed on there, you just take that and you just squeeze it. And you just back that screw out and it's set. Those aren't going anywhere. I'm going to use thread lock, and again I'm going to use stainless steel bolts on everything. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Probably $60 worth of stainless steel junk here, and then $12 more in those 2 kits from Harbor Freight. So I have plenty of options. Put these about halfway down in. I'm like hair off on this one just slightly, so I think it'll still go in though. I did put a lock washer on there. I don't know how good it'll be with that big slot there, but it might not lock. But with thread tight and that lock in there, I don't even know if I need all that. I could probably just put the bolt in there. I've seen guys just put the bolt screw in there and they were fine. So let's cinch this down and see how it goes. Let's slide that on there. That's as cinched as it can get. Slide this on. Hopefully. Yeah. So once I build that floor up a little, my feet will sit just fine. It's a little tight right here, but that's the design of the boat. I can swing out this way, run my tiller, and I can swing out this way and just sit. Especially once I get the remote control deal. So, it feels sturdy. I've read that the plastic is super heavy duty unless you're like really trying to break it. Even then it just almost just kind of bends because it's malleable. Comes in. I did not use a thread locker on these because I ran out and I was like, I don't want to drive all the way to the hardware store just to get it. I put lock washers on. So if it loosens up, I can just The nice thing about these sliding clips is that you can take them off easy. Sweet. Again, once I build that floor up, it'll just be a perfect height. Turn. Set this one from center because I expect to usually just have a couple people. Ouch, that one's folded up. And that way we kind of balance the boat a little bit. And I can step through there easier. And then if I have a third person, I can see them. All right, I mounted up the first deal there, and it was easy. I just drilled the 4 holes. I pre-drilled them after I marked them, and I shouldn't have done that because this last one I had to re-drill once these 3 were set because it was just off enough. I could not get the bolt in. So on this one, I marked them just so I'd have an idea, but I'm going to do 1 hole and then put the deal through, and then I'm just going to drill them through this just so they're perfectly aligned with where they need to go. And then all I did on these is I used stainless steel, shorter ones, and I gauged how far down I needed to come to slip the bolt behind it because there's a tight space in there. And it's still tricky to get my hand up in there. I was able to come down 2.5 inches. This is as high as I could go. And I set them back 5.5 so that the stem of the deal will hang off just slightly here. And I'm just using lock nuts, sorry. Lock nuts on the nylon with a nylon thread in there. So, and that seems to be doing the trick. On these, because I know I'd be torquing down into those nuts, I used the hex head. And I'm just using my wrench to really crank it down in there so I didn't strip the Phillips head. So, looking good. And these remove, the whole stem pulls out of the base, as you can see. Or I can adjust it here and crank it so I can move this any way I want it. Okay, that one's done now. Looks good. It's a nice solid anchor. And now I'll set a couple for back here. I have more than a couple so I can get some vertical out or or off to the sides here. Case in point of my earlier reference to stripping out the Phillips head, I'm putting stainless steel screws with lock washers on this because this transom is filled with wood and I didn't want to bolt through the back and punch through the back, so I can just anchor into the metal and the wood using these screws, not bolts but screws. And it worked fine on the first 2, but the third one, I guess the metal is just a little bit snug enough that it didn't want to go through, and it just strips it out. It's so much better having the hex head or something. I don't know why they make Phillips anymore. Unless even that one started to strip a bit, I'll never get that out. Unless I drill it out. Anyway, so these guys will help me get this one out. All right, I've put in everything that I have. I don't know if I'll want this one here so I can troll straight off the back. I think I will. And then I've put my other 3 here. I was gonna try and put one behind me, but I think I'd be smacking into it one way or another and it would just be behind me and it would just be annoying. I might end up mounting another one over there, but if I do put a trolling motor there, I wanted to leave that free. So I think it'll be great. It's be a nice, simple outfit. Get my Humminbird mounted here, and then I might go ahead and splurge and put the bow mounted trolling motor, like I think it's a Terra Nova that links up to the Helix and has the remote control. That'd be pretty sweet. So I think I might do that. And then I think what I'm going to do after watching a bunch of videos is get some 1.5 inch by, I can't remember the thickness, aluminum angle pieces. And I'm just going to frame this all in using rivets and then cover it with plywood and then probably carpet. And I'm just going to build around that, leave the back opening open through here. Put one here, put one there, and then I think I might do the same up there, although I might just leave that open. So I'll post again when I start working on the floor, but otherwise, got a good start. Everything feels really solid. That went smooth. That's it. So I flipped my side-by-side into this. I think I use this way more.